Hey guys, it's Will with Vinyl Appreciation Society. You are watching 7 super underrated Deftones songs. Deftones are one of my favorite bands. They have been since 97-ish, 96, 97. I got Adrenaline in 96, so a year after it came out. Then I got Around the Fur. When that came out in 97, that album just blew me away. I was obsessed with it. Still one of my favorite records ever. And so I've been a huge Deftones fan now for like 22, 23 years. So here we go. Let's just jump right in. Number 7 on my list of 7 super underrated Deftones song is Fire Reel. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, Fire Reel. This is on Adrenaline, which is their first record, and it's a really interesting song. It's long and it has multiple parts, and each section sounds different from the previous section, and it's very, very unique musically in that era in the band's history. And there's this part at the end that's kind of like this melodic, haunting, but heavy, almost like space rock sounding thing. And what makes this song really interesting to me, and also I think pretty underrated, because a lot of when people talk about Adrenaline, they talk about Bored, and they talk about Engine Number Nine, and they talk about like like those heavy songs. Root is another one, 7 Words, like that kind of stuff. What's really interesting to this song about me is I think this, other than Bored, maybe this is the most indicative of where they would be going as a band and getting more experimental, getting more melodic, getting more interest in like spacier sounds and combining that with the heaviness that you hear on those first 2 records. So it's a really great track. I listened to this song a lot when I was in high school, like on my headphones, on my Walkman, and I think it's a super underrated Deftones track. Number 6 on my list of super underrated Deftones songs. This is a cover. There are 2 covers on this list. As you may know, if you're a big Deftones fan, they don't have a ton of B-sides. And so with a lot of these lists, like with Nirvana, I'm doing only B-sides. With Smashing Pumpkins, I'm doing like 99% B-sides probably. At least for now. We'll probably expand and do more Pumpkins lists as we go forward. But the Deftones are not a band that has a ton of B-sides. And most of the time, you can tell why they're B-sides. You're like that; those aren't as strong as the tracks that were on the album. So they're very good at writing the amount of songs that they need and making sure that those are the best songs that they have. So this track it appears in 2 places. It's on the B-sides and covers compilation. And a lot of the B-sides compilation is like acoustic versions of songs that have already been released, or like other stuff you've heard on soundtracks and things like that. They're not like these buried obscure songs. And then there's a record called Covers, which is all Deftones covers, which was released for Record Store Day at some point, maybe like 5 or 6 or 7 years ago. I don't remember exactly when. So the track is Please, Please, Please Let Me Get What I Want. This is a Smiths song. I don't really like the Smiths, but I do like covers of Smith songs by bands that I like. So actually Muse does a cover of this song that I also really like, but I think I like this version more. And it's just, this is perfect material for the Deftones because they make it heavy, but Chino is able to add that romantic, haunting kind of melodicism that he brings with his voice. So it's a really strong track. My list is kind of out of order here because I was scribbling a lot and making a lot of changes to it as I was going along. Number 5 on my list of super underrated Deftones song. And guess what? It's another cover. I have 2 covers back to back. It's called Do You Believe? This is a Cardigans song. Cardigans, the band that did Love Fool. Love me, say that you love me. Everyone loves that song. Come on, it's on the Romeo and Juliet soundtrack with DiCaprio and Claire Danes. And the Deftones do a really interesting thing to this song where they make it heavy, but they also make it kind of electronic. So it starts out super heavy, and then it goes into a kind of like electronic drum based like verse, and then it gets heavy again in the chorus. So it's super cool. It's kind of like an amped up version of what they were doing on White Pony with some of the songs that had the heavier sections and the electronic sections. This is a song from there's like a version of Diamond Eyes that has extra tracks on it, 3 extra tracks, and this is one of the extra tracks that appears on that version. So Diamond Eyes came out, I think, 2010, so it's from that era in the Deftones history. Number 4 on my list of super underrated Deftones song is Xerxes. This is on Saturday Night Wrist. I almost forgot the name of the record, which came out when in like 2007, 2006, 2007, somewhere in there. And I think that is probably the most underrated Deftones album. It has Hole in the Earth on it, which is such a good song. There's really great tracks on there. There's a track with Surge from System of a Down, but Xerxes is a really good, really kind of I'm using the word haunting a lot, but I think that's one of the great qualities of the Deftones, that they can make such heavy, badass music, but have that haunting, romantic melodicism to it. And this is that to a T. It kind of fits in with like Minerva and Changing the House of Flies and that kind of lineage of songs where it's like heavy, but it's not too aggressive, and it's very kind of beautiful and romantic and haunting. So a really strong track, and not one that I think is particularly well known or well regarded among kind of like casual Deftones fans. So, what do we have at number 3? We have the first Deftones song I ever heard. It is called Teething. I think this track was recorded as a demo before their first record came out, and then they re recorded it, and it was released on the Crow City of Angels soundtrack. That is the second Crow film. That soundtrack was awesome. There's Jurassitol, which is like a really good Filter song, is on there. PJ Harvey's on there. The Toadies are on there. Hole is on there. It's like a really classic, like 90. I know that everyone talks about the first Crow soundtrack because I think like Nine Inch Nails and like Stone Temple Pilots had one of their big singles on that soundtrack. So, but the City of Angels soundtrack is really good too. And that's where I first heard the Deftones. I think I bought that mostly to get the Filter song because I was a big Filter fan at the time. And this song just blew me away. And this is just like Deftones kicking you in the face. This is like adrenaline style Deftones to the max. It's just an awesome song, and I had never heard anything like that before, except for maybe like Helmet. I was a Helmet fan at the time, but this is like heavier, more aggressive, and crazier than Helmet. I'm like, what is going on? This music is amazing. And I went out and bought Adrenaline not long thereafter, and it's been, history. What am I? I don't even know what I'm trying to say. What's that expression? The rest is history. There it is. You got it. All right, number 2 on my list of super underrated Deftones songs from around the fur is called Die the Flu. Obviously, this is a well-known song because there are only 10 songs on Around the Fur, and that album has sold, is it over 1 million copies at this point? Like, it sold pretty well. And so people have heard this song. It's not like this obscure, buried on the B side of some album that no one ever listens to. But this is one of my favorite Deftones songs. It is so good. And over time, I've gotten to like it more and more and more. And it's not a song that, like, when people talk about Around the Fur, right? They talk about My Own Summer. They talk about Be Quiet and Drive. They talk about Head Up because of that crazy riff and the fact that Max Cavalera is on it. They talk about the drum beat on the title track. But I very rarely hear people bring this up as one of the standout tracks on that record. And to me, it really is. I love the song. It's like a top tier Deftones track for me. It's called Die the Flu. It is on Around the Fur. And that brings us to our number 1 favorite ever Deftones, or super underrated Deftones song. I'm getting all tongue twisted here. This is a bit of a weird choice maybe because this was released as a single and there's a video for it if you can find it on YouTube. It is on White Pony. The song is called Street Carp. What's so weird about this song to me is that it's on White Pony, which is their highest selling record, and there was a video release for it. And I am not kidding when I tell you, like, I tell people who are big Deftones fans who I know love White Pony that I love this song, and they don't know which song I'm talking about. And I'm like, what the hell? Like that, and okay. I will add the caveat that it doesn't quite fit on White Pony. Like it sounds like a song that would be on either the like Diamond Eyes or Around the Fur. It's heavy, it's fast, it's melodic, it's got like an awesome kind of screamy breakdown part, it's got a really catchy chorus. It's like quintessential awesome Deftones to me. But I think because it's on this album where it's surrounded by these like 7-minute songs and these electronic textures and stuff, people listen to it and they're like, where did this song come from? And also Teething, which is on White Pony, is a song that everyone talks about because it's so heavy. And I think the combination of Teething being on there and all these other textures on that record means that people don't really, this song doesn't stand out. But to me, it is so good. I actually made a list of my top, I think it was 20 favorite Deftones songs, because when Gore came out, a pretty big music publication, I'm not remembering which one at the time, did 20 best Deftones songs to celebrate the release of Gore, and that list was complete garbage. I'm like, screw you, I'm making my own list. And this was on there. It's such a good song. It's called Street Carp. We'll link to all these songs in the description of this video so you can go and listen to them. This has been 7 super underrated Deftones songs. This was very fun to do. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, please, if you're still here. In the comments below, let us know what your favorite underrated Deftones songs are, what your favorite Deftones songs overall are, what other bands you think we should do for this series. My name is Will. This has been Vinyl Appreciation Society, and we will see you next time.